Our next topic is two-dimensional or multi-dimensional arrays. So let me bring up the slides here. So let's think about an example in a grade averaging program. Suppose a instructor wants to record all the students' assignments for a class. So doing it with a single dimensional array, we would have, say, given the student's name or ID number, and then we would have under subscript 0, we would have their first assignment score. Subscript 1, we would have their second assignment score. Subscript 2, we'd have their third assignment score, so on and so forth. Well, if the instructor had 30 students in that class, they would need to have 30 single dimension arrays to put all the assignment scores for the entire class. So instead of defining 30 individual arrays, it'd be better to define a two-dimensional array. One two-dimensional array where the rows would be the students, 30 students, and the columns would be the assignments, 0, 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth. So we could have one two-dimensional array to take the place of 30 single-dimensional arrays. So that's why it says a two-dimensional array is basically an array of arrays. And it can be thought of as having rows and columns. So how do we declare a two-dimensional array in our programs? Well, we use two brackets instead of one. So for example, here's creating a two-dimensional array for scores that it's going to be double, and we just put two brackets here. The first one is for the number of rows, the second one is for the number of columns, and here we identify we're going to have 3 rows and 4 columns. And again, the two brackets indicate the score variable will reference a two-dimensional array, and that each size declarator is enclosed in its own set of brackets. I don't put the 3 and the 4 together or anything like that. So again, when processing the data in a two-dimensional array, each element has two subscripts, one for its row and another for its column, and its row is always first. The row is always first, then the column. So if I wanted to do something here, I could say something like scores, then I'll put the row I'm interested in, row 1, let's say column 3, and I could set that equal to something. That's how I address each, and this should be a little s, it capitalizes on its own, but this is my row and this is my column number, so let me get rid of that. So here the score variable holds the address of a two-dimensional array, just as I was showing you. Score 0, 0 goes right here. Score 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. Again, remember the row is always first. Then row 1, 0, row 1, 1, row 1, 2, row 1, 3, and so on and so forth. So if I said score 2, 1 equals 95, it put it right here. So again, accessing one of the elements in a two-dimensional array, we have to use both subscripts. First the row, then the column. So, here we go. Programs that process two-dimensional arrays, you do so in nested loops. You start with row 0, and then we go to column 0, and enter a score, and this would be 0, 0, and then enter the score. And then we would stay in the inner loop 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, and then it says, oh, I can't do 4, so I'll go back up to here, and this will increment to 1. And this goes back to 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 3. Yep, 4 is too big, so I'll go back up to here to 2. This goes back to 0. 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. And then it goes back up to here. It says it's 0, 1, 2. Well, 3 is too big, so it just gets out of the loop altogether. So that's how I would program a two-dimensional array to fill up the scores in a nested loop. And again, same thing to print out the scores. I would do it the same exact way. Since I hold the row constant first and I go through the columns. 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. Then this will go to 1, 1, 0, 1, 2, 1, 3. This will go to 2, 2, 0, 2, 2, 2, 3. And that would be it. So let's look at a program called Corp Sales Java. And here it is. In this one, we have 3 divisions in the company. So division 0, 1, 2. We have 4 quarters. There's 4 quarters in a year. First quarter is January, February, March. Then it's April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So it breaks up the year into 4 quarters. What they want to look at is sales. Sales per quarter for each division. And so we create a sales array of double. It's going to be a two-dimensional array. And divisions are going to be in the rows, and quarters are going to be in the columns. So we have the keyboard scanner, again, creating our keyboard object. And this program will calculate the total sales of all the company's divisions, enter the sales data. And again, here's our nested loops. So for division, we're going to start at 0. In quarter, we're going to start at 0. So, and to the user, though, it's going to say division 1, quarter 1. Division 2, quarter 2. So on. So I'm sorry. Division 1, quarter 1. Division 1, quarter 2. Division 1, quarter 3. Division 1, quarter 4. And that's because we as humans don't like to see 0, 0. We like to start with 1. And we're going to just read in the sales per division and quarter. And we're going to do that for all 3 divisions, each one 4 quarters. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add all the sales together. So we're going to, total sales should be set to 0 up here. Yep, total sales set to 0. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to go through 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. And what we're going to do is for each division, we're going to add up the quarters. And then we're going to do that for each division. So we're going to get the total sales for the whole company for the whole year. And then we're going to print out all the elements of the array. So we're going to print out the division and quarters. So we'll say for division 1, quarter 1, we're going to print out the sales for that division and quarter. So for division, say 1, we're going to print out its sales for quarter 1. Division 1, we're going to print out sales for quarter 2. Division 1, we're going to print out sales for quarter 3, so on and so forth. Then we're going to print a blank line, and then we're just going to put out the total sales. So let's run this. This is a two-dimensional array. So again, even though it says division 1, quarter 1, this is basically 0, 0. Because again, division's row, quarter is column. So let's just make it easy. 100. I'll make it 100,000. Division 1, quarter 2, we'll say 120,000. 130,000. 140,000. So that's division 1, quarter 1. Now we'll do division 2, quarter 1. And division 2 will be 200,000. 202, 23, 24. Let's see, end up 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Division 3. Let's see. No, that was, I screwed up one. Okay. Boom. And here's what I've entered. Division 1. And these are the exact numbers I put in. 2, 3. Here's where I screwed up. I forgot 6 extra zeros. And here, the total company sales was $2,085,000. And that's the total of it. And again, that's a two-dimensional array. Division was the rows, quarters were the columns. Okay, so let's get out of here for a second. Go back to here. Here we go. We can initialize a two-dimensional array like we could a one-dimensional array. And here we're showing integers. It's a two-dimensional array. And notice this curly braces, but there's curly braces within curly braces. So this is row 0, 1, 2, 3. Row 1, 4, 5, 6. Row 2, 7, 8, 9. So this would be a 3 by 3 array. 3 rows, 3 columns. Now you could do it this way, or you could basically, I don't think they show it here. Yeah, you could write it this way. Integer numbers equal 1 curly brace, 1, 2, 3, comma, 4, 5, 6, comma, 7, 8, 9, close curly brace, semicolon. I usually do it this way. It's much easier for me to kind of see it in my mind if I write it down this way. And this basically looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, this is row 0, row 1, row 2, column 0, column 1, column 2. So I can initialize, I can do it this way also, I can initialize when I declare the array, two-dimensional array. Final thing I want to talk about for multi-dimensional arrays are the length field. As you recall, arrays have length fields. A two-dimensional array has multiple length fields. There's a length field that holds the number of rows. To find the number of rows, use the array name dot length, just like we do any other one-dimensional array. But each row has a length field that holds the number of columns. To find the number of columns in a row, use the array name, and then in brackets put the index dot length, and that'll tell you how many columns there are. And the index value that you use is the row of interest. So let's look at that. Here we have an array, and the first row has 4 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4. The second row has 3 columns, 5, 6, 7. And the last row has 4 columns, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is called a jagged array. They don't all have to have the same number of columns. And here you can see numbers.length, that's for the whole two-dimensional array. This will tell me how many rows there are. Well, this will go to 3. This will say 3. As long as the row is less than 3, we're good. Then I want to say numbers row dot length. So numbers row 0 dot length would be 4. Numbers row 1 dot length is 3. Numbers row, which would be 2 dot length, would be 4. So again, we'd have 4 for the first one. This is a 1, it would be 3, and then 4 for the last one. So again, if I want to find out the number of columns, I have to have the row number for the one I'm interested in, because columns can be different. Again, let's look at that on our programs. Here's the lengths on program. And here I created one with 1, 2, 3, 4. So it has 4 columns in the first row. 5, 6, 7 has 3 columns in the second row. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's in the last row. So it's got 4, 3, 5. And what we're going to do is going to print out the number of rows is, and it's just because it's called numbers, It's a two-dimensional array called numbers. Numbers.length is going to tell me 3. There are 3 rows. And then it's going to go through the 3 rows and say the number of columns in row 0 is, and it's going to get numbers 0.length, and it should come back a 4. Numbers 1.length should come back a 3. And numbers 2.length should come back a 5. So let's run it. Number of rows is 3. The number of columns in row 0 is 4. Yeah, that's correct. The number of columns in row 1 is 3. Also correct. And the number of columns in row 2 is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's right. So that's how you get length for a two-dimensional array. Any questions, just email me or write it on the discussion board. Thank you.